Existential crises. They often plague our thoughts, popping in and out. Why am I alive? Am I really who I think I am? Or do any of my actions actually make a difference? Existential questions instill our fear of the world and perpetuate a feeling of isolation from others. They'll often shrink the globe into the size of a pea or expand its boundaries so far that it's too difficult to grasp. However, in addition to our own battles with these questions, we also see characters from our favorite fictional worlds exemplify this inner conflict in a more easily identifiable manner. For example, there's Carl Fredricksen from Up, failing to manage the tragic death of his wife until a young Russell accompanies him on his adventure. Or Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story, attempting to figure out his purpose in life as a simple child's toy. And of course, there's the narrator from Fight Club, who's struggling to identify what it means to live life to the fullest and belong, what it means to be perfect. Despite those classics, there's still one that flies under the radar for most. Now we're talking about Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. For those who have never watched the show, I'll give a short summary, but highly recommend that you give Bebop a try before watching this video, as we'll be covering pretty much every spoiler there is. Now with that out of the way, Spike Spiegel is a protagonist in a growing group of bounty hunters, traveling across the galaxy to catch the wanted for some cash. While the crew pursues bounties, usually unsuccessful, they also each face unresolved issues from their past. Traumatic memories, unexplained abandonment, and troubled love affairs, treated with a strong, philosophical, mature, psychological, and existential note, come to each of them, reflecting on both the best and worst moments of these lost people. However, Spike's attitude towards his own past prevents him from abandoning it like the others, and sadly, this fixation with the past is what ends up leading to his bittersweet downfall. As the show goes on, we're able to gain a glimpse into the old life of Spike through his actions and words with Vicious, a former partner in the Syndicate turned enemy. We learn more concerning his previous life under the Syndicate and the faking of his own death to run away with the love of his life, Julia. However, his plan didn't come completely to fruition, so although he escaped the fierce claws of the organization, Julia could not leave with him. And this unfulfilled dream of essentially running off into the hills with his sweetheart is where Spike's struggle originates from. Throughout the show, Julia acts as a ball and chain that keeps Spike in a constant battle between nihilism and nostalgia. Now, you may be asking, what's nihilism? Well, to put things succinctly, it's the belief that nothing matters. Regardless of your decisions, we'll all end the same. Basically making it so you shouldn't worry about your problems or well-being or simply,
we can't live without them. I knew I
whatever happens, happens.
Spike constantly reminds others on the ship to forget their past and treat each day like a new one. However, it's impossible to reach that state of being when you let the past become such an integral part of your character and thoughts. Spike doesn't want to admit it, but his past is a permanent part of him, verbally acting otherwise. In reality, Spike's dream is what's keeping him grounded. It forces him to persevere. He wants to go back to those old days so badly that he's willing to do anything that it takes to get there. However, these two contradictory ideas cannot coexist for long. One cannot love and at the same time reject relationships. It's impossible. Eventually, one of the two sides must prevail. This is Spike's problem. This is his downfall. The constant struggle is so ever present in his life that when he's finally met with the death of Julia, the only person keeping him alive, he can't keep fighting. When the past is finally taken from him, and he knows that it's impossible to reattain, he realizes that the battle that he had been fighting for all these years was pointless. In the end, he lost.
Look at my eyes, Faye. One of them is a fake because I lost it in an accident. Since then, I've been seeing the past in one eye and the present in the other. So I thought I could only see patches of reality, never the whole picture. I felt like I was watching a dream I'd never wake up from. Before I knew it, the dream was all over.
This is it. This is the moment Spike becomes a fully fledged nihilist. Or in his words, this is the moment he finally woke up. From now on, Spike believes that he has no future. And since it was ended by Vicious, a bloody revenge appears to be the most fitting option. By disregarding Faye and Jet, only to leave for a mission everyone knows he won't return from, Spike's change has become crystal clear. We see a man with no ambition. We see a man with no future. We see a man whose dream was taken from him. And through this, we learn that Spike's dream was the only thing that was keeping him alive. In Spike's mind, without goals, aspirations, or dreams, life is meaningless. At first glance, this assumption may seem ridiculous. Most people would say that there are tons of other things in life that make it worth living, but is that really true? Think about what you do now on a daily basis. Why are you going to school? Why are you working at that internship? Why are you going to the gym? Everything that we do has a purpose, and when you realize that your actions are pointless, it becomes infinitely harder to keep hammering away. Ultimately, Spike's struggle represents the struggle in us all when trying to push through a tunnel without being able to see light at the end of it.
Men only think about the past right before their death, as if they were searching frantically for proof that they were alive.
Spike's spiral of nihilism leads him on a path of destruction until he finally takes Vicious's life in exchange for his own. The last scene ends with Spike's lifeless body laying on a staircase, but what comes after the ending is what's more important. What's after is what makes it a true tragedy. What happens to Jet, Faye, or Ed? We can confidently assume that they're devastated. They lost the leader of the Bebop crew, a family member. We can already see the lengths Faye goes to prevent Spike from leaving in the first place. And the reason why was because Spike's death was pointless. He was chasing a dream that was unattainable, despite his new life potentially promising more than the past one Spike yearns for. And because of his tunnel vision, Spike wasn't able to see it. He was too focused on what he had lost in the past, and in doing so, he inadvertently hurt the lives of the people that cared for him the most.
Why can't you just let it go? Forget the past.
And now you're leaving, just like that. Why do you have to go? Where are you going? What are you going to do? Just throw your life away like it was nothing?
What makes the final scene so powerful is the look on Spike's face. He's won. His life was fulfilled. Vicious is dead, Julia has been avenged, and Spike no longer needs to worry about recreating his past. However, what was lost? Spike lost his future, the Bebop lost its leader, and the world lost its best bounty hunter. What Spike did was justifiable. In the same situation, you might have done the same. Without a light at the end of the tunnel, it's hard to keep on living every day when it seems so pointless. But that doesn't mean it was the right choice. The harsh reality of the battle Spike goes through creates a true tragedy when the final episode ends and you're left blankly staring at 5 words on the screen.
It's never ending. I'm ascending.
I'm not going there to die. I'm going to find out if I'm really alive.